What's up guys, it's Ralph Misha and welcome to another TCG unboxing video. Today I have the Keldeo versus Rayquaza or Rayquaza Battle Arena decks. So without further ado, let's unbox them and take a look at what they come with. So here's the product. As you can see, we have a Keldeo EX versus Rayquaza EX or Rayquaza. I always say Rayquaza, I know it's Rayquaza. I've seen people open this up before. It looks like a really cool product. It comes with some really good cards, so I will show you the back of this and what it comes with. So, two mighty Pokemon battle for victory. Rayquaza and Keldeo go head to head in this new Pokemon TCG Battle Arena decks. These two 60 card decks are ready to play right away with powerful cards and winning strategies worthy of an ace trainer. Each deck is led by an exceptional Pokemon EX and includes 10 foil cards. So, in each 60 card pack we will get 2 foil cards featuring Rayquaza EX and Keldeo EX, 8 foil basic energy cards, tournament level trainer cards including VS Seeker, N, and the never before seen Karen, which is actually now legal in standard. You can play this card and you can only get it in this, I believe. And you'll also get, in addition to that, 2 coins and 2 set of damage counters, a 2-player mat, a code card which I will redeem and I will show you what you get. It should be the 2 decks anyway. 2 deck boxes and a quick guide to unlock the secrets of the deck. So basically the decks are built similarly, but obviously there are a few differences. So like most of the trainers are the same. You get Ns and VS Seekers. I'll just show you the Rayquaza one as an example. If it focuses. It won't focus, but we'll take a look anyway at what's inside. So I'm going to open this up and I will cut back when it's open. So let's take a look at what actually comes with. There's a fair few things, so I don't even know where to start really. Actually, we'll start with the TCG code, which I will redeem and show you what we get here. I'll start with the papery stuff. So we have 2 sets of damage counters, the old paper ones. Most people tend to use dice now, but these are sometimes still used. I mean, I attached mine to balsa wood so that they're easier to pick up. So we've got those. Excuse me. We have this Keldeo versus Rayquaza. Let's show you this a little bit better. A little kind of sheet of paper just telling you how to use certain cards. Just to let you know, by the way, these decks are no longer standard legal because they do contain cards like Battle Compressor. But I think they're still usable in expanded if you want to use them like this. So on this side we have ways to use the Rayquaza deck, and on this side tactics for the Keldeo deck using Blastoise and Regice. Regice is a good card. Incredibly annoying to go against. So there's that. That's this little sheet of paper here. We have a, quite frankly, humongous sheet. I don't really want to open this up here, but basically a Pokemon TCG rule set, so how to play and stuff like that. And this is ginormous. I think it's the playmat as well. I'm pretty certain this is the playmat. Yep. As you can see, it is the playmat. So I'm not going to open that up because that's going to be a pain in the backside to fold up again. But I will open it up at some point and take a picture of it and put it in. We also have 2 coins. We have a Blastoise coin and a Rayquaza coin. So they will go downstairs in my coin collection. And of course the back of them is just the plain black Pokemon signs. I really rather like, I think the Rayquaza one's the coolest for me, and that is probably the deck I will use. Then of course we have the foil cards, so here is the Keldeo. Keldeo has Rush In, which is like Zoroark's stand-in, so that if this card is on your bench you can switch it in with your active before you attack. And here's the Rayquaza, or Rayquaza. I'm not sure what set this is from, but it has Celestial Roar and Dragon Burst. Celestial Roar obviously you will use to get the energies on it to use Dragon Burst to its highest ability. So Celestial Roar just lets you discard the top 3 cards of your deck, and if there's an energy there you can place it on here. So that's those two. Then we have the deck boxes. So here is the Keldeo deck box, and it has the deck inside it. So just take a look at this. Nice big Keldeo written on the side. The same again on that side. So there's the Keldeo one. And the same here with the Rayquaza, just in the green colour scheme. Like that. So, one at a time I'm going to show you the deck. So I think we'll start with Keldeo. I'll move some stuff out of the way and I will cut back with the Keldeo deck. Let's take a look at what we get in here. So we start off with, of course, 2 Keldeo EXs with the ability Rush In, which is the same as Zoroark's stand-in. So there you go. Once during your turn, before you attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch it before you're active. So its ability is like a built-in switch. So there's 2 of those. And go down there. Nope, can't see that very well. You can go there. Then your main supporter Pokemon are 3 Squirtles with the ability Shell Shield. But Squirtle you don't want to keep on your bench too long. There's 3 of those. Because your aim is to get that into as fast as you can into a Blastoise. But here are the 2 Wartortles. So you run the 3-2-2 line of Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise. There is a quicker way to get Blastoise up, which you'll see later. But you really want Blastoise for its ability Deluge. So as often as you like during your turn before you attack, you can attach a water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Now you want to do that if you've got 2 Blastoise out. You can move 2 energies from your hand straight onto Keldeo, which is what you want to be doing because Keldeo is your main attacker. Not a bad amount of HP. Blastoise has got 140. Then you've got 2 Phoebus, which aren't very good on their own. They're a bit like Magikarps. But you're going to quickly want to evolve those into Milotic, which has the ability Sparkling Ripples. So when you play this Pokemon from your hand, to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may put a card from your discard pile into your hand. So that's a really good little ability to have, just because if you've got like some water energies in your discard, is a good way to get those back. So, and then we are running, well, the deck comes with a 1/1 line of Remoraid Octillery. Most people will know that you want to play Octillery for its ability Abyssal Hand, which allows you to, once during your turn, you can draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. So that's that. There are a few more Pokemon. So we have 2 Lapras which is just a good Pokemon to throw out whilst you're powering up Keldeo and getting your Blastoises up. Lapras is a good sort of placeholder. It also allows you, for just one energy, to search for 2 basic Pokemon. And put them onto your bench. So yeah, Call for Family is a good little attack for 1 energy, and there's 2 Laprases in there. And then the last couple of Pokemon is a Regice, which this one's from Ancient Origins. Most people know this Regice for its Resistance Blizzard attack, which is the one you want to be using, because for 1 water and 2 colourless, it does 70 damage and it prevents the opponent's EX from doing damage to this Pokemon. So it's a good stall tactic. And the final Pokemon, the Articuno from Roaring Skies, with the attacks Chilling Sight and Tri-Edge. But the main reason we like Articuno is because of its ancient trait, Plus, which means if you knock out your opponent's Pokemon from an attack from this Pokemon, you can take an extra prize card. Now, if you manage to somehow knock out your opponent's Rayquaza or Rayquaza EX, then you can take 3 prize cards. That's half the prize cards in 1 turn. So that's why we have Articuno. So that's our Pokemon lineup. There's a fair few Pokemon in here. A few more than you would maybe expect in a regular deck. But now let's take a look at our supporter lineup. So this is the main reason why you want to get these, because they come with great cards in terms of draw supporters and things like that. So 2 Professor Sycamores, which allow you to discard your hand and draw 7 cards. So it's a really good card there. In fact, at the moment, it's the best draw supporter in the game. So there's that. We have a single N, which, if you don't know, it makes both players shuffle their hand into their deck and then they draw the amount of prize cards that they have. So if you're losing, you still have all 6 prize cards and your opponent has 2, you can end them down to just 2 cards, which is really, really handy. We have a Lysander, which most people will know what Lysander does. It allows you to force a switch of your opponent's bench Pokemon for his or her active Pokemon, and you get to choose what you want to. So if they have a Keldeo that they're if they have a Rayquaza that they're powering up, you can force them to switch into that. We have a Bianca, which allows you to draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. We have Archie's Ace in the Hole, which is a good card, but it's kind of situational. You can only play it if you have 1 card left in your hand, and it has to be this card that's left. And you can put a water energy from your discard pile onto your bench and then draw 5. So it is a really good card, but you have to make sure it is the last card in your hand in order to play it. So it's quite a situational card there. We have a Skylar, which, if you don't know what Skylar does, it allows you to search for any trainer that you want from your deck, shuffle it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck afterwards. So that will allow you to get out any trainer that you require. We have a Fisherman, which allows you to put 4 basic energy from your discard pile back into your hand, which is quite a good card. Teammates. Again, I think this one's quite a situational card. So yeah, you can only play it once one of your Pokemon was knocked out during the last turn. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So again, like Archie's Ace in the Hole, very situational, but a good card to play. I'll show you all 3 of these at the same time. We have 3 more draw supporters in the form of Birch's Observation, Shauna and Tierno. Tierno allows you to draw 3 cards. Shauna allows you to shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 5 cards. So if you don't want to end your opponent because they may have more prize cards than you, you could play a Shauna. And Birch's Observations, which shuffle your hand into your deck, flip a coin. If heads, you draw 7. If tails, you draw 4. So This support is only available in this pack, and it's the long-awaited Karen, which is a promo. It's promo number XY number 177, and it's kind of a watered-down version of the banned Lysander's Trump card, because it allows each player to shuffle all the Pokemon in his or her discard pile into his or her deck. So Lysander's Trump card will allow you to shuffle your entire discard back into your deck and basically completely start the game again. This allows you to get all your Pokemon back. So if your deck is running a bit thin and you draw a Karen, it allows you to get all of your Pokemon that you need back, and it stops you from decking out as quick. So that's all of the supporters. I'm going to move stuff around a bit, and then I'll cut back to the items. So I've just moved a few things around here. Let's take a look at our item count now. So we're going to start off with 2 rare candies. These are what are going to allow you to evolve from Squirtle to Blastoise really quickly. So basically you choose one of your basic Pokemon in play, so say Squirtle, and if you have Blastoise in your hand, you can evolve straight into Blastoise and skip the Wartortle stage. So that's going to help you get your Blastoise out real fast. So we have 2 of those. We have 2 dive balls, which, if you didn't know what a dive ball does, it allows you to search your deck for a water Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So these are good for getting out. Say you have a rare candy in hand and a Squirtle on the bench, then you can search for that Blastoise and play that nice and fast. We have 2 Ultra Balls. Most people know what Ultra Ball do by now. So it allows you to discard 2 cards from your hand, search your deck for any Pokemon that you like, reveal it and put it into your hand, and you shuffle your deck afterwards. That's a pretty standard card in almost every deck these days. We have 2 superior energy retrievals. So discard 2 cards from your hand and put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. It's a good way of getting energies back if you've got a lot of energy in the discard. So 2 of those. Probably going to run out of space again. And then the one-offs I will show you all together. The one-offs that are run are an escape rope, a professor's letter, and a single versus seeker. Now versus seeker alone makes this set worth buying, because if you don't know what versus seeker does, it allows you to put a supporter from your discard pile into your hand. Most modern decks run 4 of these, and before this set came out you were looking at a set of 4 for £40. So this set comes with 2, there's 1 in each deck for £27, but also you're not just paying, like if you bought 2 of them, then you're getting, not only are you getting VS Seeker, but you're getting half a play set. No, you're getting a whole play set of VS Seeker, a whole play set of Professor Sycamores, of Ultra Balls, you're going to get a 2 line of Remoraid Auxiliary, which comes in handy. The Regices and Articunos for water toolboxes. So if you buy 2 of these sets, I highly recommend these sets, by the way. The Battle Arena deck, Keldeo versus Rayquaza. But yeah, VS Seeker itself makes it worthwhile, and then that's not even like thinking about the fact that you get Professor Sycamore and Karen, which you can only get in this set, Ultra Balls, etc, etc. We also have an escape rope, which is a switching card that forces you and your opponent to switch. So escape rope is a really good one-off card to have. It forces your opponent to switch and it forces you to switch. Your opponent gets to choose first. And then Professor's Letter, which just helps you draw into energies, so you can search your deck for up to 2 basic energies and put them into your hand. So that's those 3 one-offs. Running out of room here. The stadium of choice for this deck is Rough Seas. Again, this is kind of a staple in water toolbox decks and stuff, and it allows each player to heal up 30 damage from his or her water and lightning Pokemon. So this can actually be beneficial to your opponent playing the Rayquaza deck as well, because there are electric Pokemon in there, as you will see. But if you have any damage on your Keldeo, for example, it allows you to heal that damage. And now we get to the energy count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 energies in total, 8 of which are these amazing hollow ones, which I absolutely love, and then some regular energies there. So that's actually it for the Keldeo deck profile. Now I'll cut to the Rayquaza one. So here is the Rayquaza, or Rayquaza, however you want to say it, Battle Arena deck. Let's take a look at it. So again, we're going to start off with the Pokemon lineup, and again we have 2 of the Rayquaza EXs with the attacks Celestial Roar and Dragon Burst. Now Dragon Burst is the attack you want to be using for this. You're always going to want to have a fire energy attached to this one, and you're going to be discarding the electric energy. Celestial Roar will allow you to get energies into the discard for you to get back out with Dynamo from electric, which you'll see later. So Rayquaza is the deck I personally prefer out of these two, because obviously I'm a big Dragon fan. Dragon is my favourite Pokemon. Dragon is my favourite type, if you didn't guess, and obviously Rayquaza's on this mat. Dragonite is my favourite, but that's the Rayquaza that's in this deck. Put that there. Then your main supporter Pokemon for this is a 3-2 line of Dynamo and Electric. Now Dynamo itself isn't really going to do anything. Might stall your opponent out with a Thunder Wave, but that's about it for Dynamo. Again, really small, bit like a Magikarp. Really low amount of HP. This one you kind of want on your bench. You don't really want to be starting with it. Yep, so that's Dynamo. Not really much explaining to do for Dynamo. And then Electric is the one that you want to be playing. This is the reason why he's so important, and it's for that ability Dynamotor. So the Dynamotor ability, if you don't know what it does, it allows you to, once during your turn, attach an energy, electric energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. So if you've got both of your Rayquazas on the bench, then you can power them up. So you'll probably see in the match that I actually played Dynamotor wrong a couple of times, so look forward to that. But yep, 2 electrics, you want those so you can power up your Rayquazas for that Dynamotor ability. Then we have a 3-2 line of Pikachu Raichu. This is the Circle Circuit Raichu, which most people know. And this is also the Pikachu from, it's been reprinted several times in generations and things like that. But Circle Circuit is the attack you want to be using here. It does 20 damage times the number of bench Pokemon. Now with this particular deck, you're always going to want to have a full bench, because there are other Pokemon in here that rely on having 4 or more bench Pokemon as well. So your bench is almost always gonna be full for this particular deck. That's how you're gonna want to play this one. We have 2 Dedennes, both of the attacks only require 1 energy. So Entertainment allows you to search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon. An Energy Short, which it won't focus, but Energy Short does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they have a Keldeo up and you have a Dedenne up and they have a fully powered Keldeo with say 4 or 5 energies on it, you're doing 80 to 100 damage onto that Keldeo straight away. So you can get a 2-hit knockout with Dedenne for 1 energy. If Keldeo doesn't destroy you first, which it probably will. Because Dedenne only has 70 HP. We're running Or this deck runs 2 Zapdos, but they are different Zapdos. So one is from Roaring Skies, which is this one, which has Draw Peck and Raging Thunder. Raging Thunder does 40 damage to one of your bench Pokemon for 3 energies, and Draw Peck does 20 for 1. The Zapdos that I found the most useful is this one from, I don't even know what set that's from, so somebody can tell me. I don't know what set that's from, but it has Random Spark, which does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. You get to choose which that is. And Thunder and Hurricane for 4 energies, and does 50 times the amount of heads that you flip. Now, there is a way for you to get more heads on your coin flips, which you'll see in the form of another Pokemon and their ability later. And that Thunder and Hurricane is actually a really good attack if you can get the Pokemon in question down. So, for electric Pokemon, the final one is a Zekrom, and it has Outrage and Bolt Strike. Bolt Strike allows you to do a whopping 120 damage for 3 energies, but it does do 40 damage to itself. And Outrage for 2 energies does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So, if you can power up with 3 energies, and Bolt Strike for 120 and do 40 damage to itself, the next turn you can do Outrage for 60 for half of that for 2 energies. So, and that's probably going to knock something out. I think it knocks out a Keldeo. So we have, as our final Pokemon, we have 2 Victinis. We have the V-Create Victini for a single fire energy and a colourless energy, so any energy of your choice. You can do 100 damage, but you can only do 100 damage if there are 4 or more bench Pokemon. No, if there are 5 bench Pokemon. Because if you have 4 or less, then this attack does nothing. So you need a full bench to do 100 damage for 2 energies. And the other Victini, which is the main Victini that I ended up using, I found this one quite helpful, especially if you're using the Zapdos, which requires the coin flips, is this one with the ability Victory Star. Once during your turn, after you flip any coins for an attack, you may ignore all effects of those coin flips and begin flipping those coins again, and you can only use this ability once each turn. So that is really, really helpful. If you flip 4 tails unluckily with the Zapdos, then you can flip those coins again and hope for some heads. And its attack for 2 energies, it does 30 damage, and you can move all the energy from attached to this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So if you have a fire and a lightning energy attached here, you can attach it, you can move it to a Rayquaza, get that Rayquaza powered up, ready to go, and send it out. So that's it for our Pokemon lineup. We have a nice long lineup going across here. So let's take a look at our supporter lineup. So supporter wise, similar to the Keldeo deck, we have 2 Sycamore, so I don't need to explain those. These allow you to discard your hand and draw 7. Again, we have an N, so shuffle your hand into your deck and draw how many prize cards that you have. That's both you and your opponent. We have a Karen, so you get 2 Karens in here, 1 in each deck. Each player shuffles all their Pokemon from their discard into their deck. A Lysander, which allows you to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for his or her active, and that's a choice. You get to choose their bench Pokemon that you switch. A Skyla, which allows you to search your deck for any trainer card that you want and put it into your hand. And then we get into a few draw supporters here. I'm going to group all these together like I did last time. So Shauna, Tierno and Birch's Observations. Birch's Observations, you shuffle your hand into your deck and flip a coin. If heads, you draw 7. If tails, you draw 4. Shauna allows you to shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 5 cards. And Tierno allows you to draw 3 cards. So these are good, like if your hand's running a little bit low, it's good to have those just to refresh your hand. Another draw supporter that I forgot to mention is Bianca. So you draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. So I'll put that one there. Now this supporter AZ, I would say AZ because I am English. Americans say AZ. But put one of your Pokemon into your hand. So that's any of your Pokemon that's down on the bench or you're active. But you discard all the cards attached to that Pokemon. So it's a little bit like a Ninja Boy, which is now obviously this one's rotated out because it's from Phantom Forces. Ninja Boy is kind of better than this because you don't have to discard the cards that were attached to it, but it allows you to switch basically any Pokemon that you want, or pick up a Pokemon that you don't necessarily want down on the bench. So, and our final supporter is Pokemon Fan Club. So search your deck for 2 basics, reveal them and put them into your hand. So that's good for you to get out, say, your Tynamos, your Pikachus for your Circle Circuit, etc, etc. Or your Victini maybe for the ability. So on to the item count now. Similar to the last one, we're going to have 2 Ultra Balls. We're going to have 2 level balls, which if you don't know what a level ball does, it allows you to search your deck for any Pokemon with 90 HP or less, which is the vast majority of your Pokemon, and that includes Electric, because Electric has 90 HP, Raichu has 90 HP. The only Pokemon you cannot search out with this card are your Rayquazas, your Zapdos and your Zekrom. That's it. Everything else in this deck is searchable with level ball. So this is a good way for you to get out those Tynamos and Electrics, to get out the Circle Circuit Raichus, to get out the Victini for the ability, etc, etc, you know. It allows you to get out anything necessary to help that Rayquaza get the knockouts. So our next items are Switch, which is never been out of print. If you don't know what Switch does, well, I don't really know what to say. But Switch basically allows you to switch any your active Pokemon for any of your bench Pokemon. So it's a good escape kind of card. We have 2 Battle Compressors which have rotated out of standard. So these decks, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned already, are great for expanded play. They are fantastic for expanded, but they are not standard legal because certain cards have rotated out, like Battle Compressor and AZ, which is there. Battle Compressor allows you to get things into the discard that you need. So for that Dynamotor ability, you want to be getting electric energy into the discard. So it allows you to search your deck for 3 cards and discard them and shuffle your deck afterwards. So like I said, you can get those energies into the discard pile ready to Dynamotor back onto your Pokemon. We have a couple more items and then a couple of tool cards. So we have a Professor's Letter. Like last time, allows you to search up to 2 basic energy from your deck and put them into your hand. And of course a single VS Seeker, which allows you to search your discard pile for a supporter and put it into your hand. Most people in standard decks will VS Seeker a Sycamore or an N or a Lysander, which you kind of want to be doing the same thing here, or if you've played your Karen and your discard pile is getting a bit stacked, you can VS Seeker the Karen and get all of your Pokemon back into your hand. So that's it for the item lineup. Now we have tools. This is the only one that has tools, and it's 2 float stones. Now float stones you probably want to be attaching to Electric, just to get it out of the active, if it does get Lysandered up or something like that, and you want to, these float stones give the Pokemon that it's attached to 0 retreat cost. So really good, quick escape. As you can see, there are a few escape methods here. You've got the float stones, you've got the switches. That's carried on into the Stadium of Choice, which is Sky Arrow Bridge. So the retreat cost of each basic Pokemon in play is 1 less, which basically, to cut it short, basic Pokemon is Rayquaza, Tynamo, Pikachu, Dedenne, Zapdos, Zekrom and Victini. That means that Rayquaza has no retreat cost, Tynamo has no retreat cost, Pikachu has no retreat cost, Dedenne has a 0 retreat, Zapdos has 1 retreat, Zekrom has 1 retreat, and Victini will have 3 retreat. So it means that it makes your Pokemon easier to switch in and out, especially if that Rayquaza has been hit. It means if you've got Sky Bridge up, you can switch that for any Pokemon that you want, maybe a Dedenne. If your opponent's playing Keldeo with 4 energies on it, you can get that Dedenne up and hit for 80 to 100 damage. You can get the Circle Circuit Raichu up. If you have a full bench, again that's going to do 100 damage. By the way, Raichu has a free retreat, just to let you know. It's not a basic, but Raichu actually has free retreat anyway. So Sky Bridge, really good card to play in this deck. And then we get to the energy count. Now there are 2 different energies run in this deck. We have fire and we have electric. Now like I said before, fire energies, they are less. I'll just talk about the fire energies real quick. We have 6 fire energies, which isn't a lot, 4 of which are hollow. I love the hollow ones. The fire energies, you want to be attaching 1 to Rayquaza. You want at least 1 each on Rayquaza, so there's 2 there. Maybe 1 each on the Victini, so that's 4, and that leaves you with 2 spares that you can throw onto maybe a Dedenne or anything like that that doesn't actually need a electric energy to attack. Or you can maybe throw it onto, if you're in desperate need, you can throw it onto the Pikachu. Actually, it would be a good idea to put it on the Pikachu for the Circle Circuit Raichu. So these are very few, but you don't actually need a huge amount of them. The most energies in here are the electric energies. So we have 4 hollow electric energies, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular. So there's 9 electric energies in here. Of course, the main tactic of this is to get these electric energies into the discard and then Dynamite or them back onto your Rayquazas, onto your Circle Circuit Raichus. Power up that Rayquaza, switch it in using Sky Bridge. So you've got like a Floatstone Pokemon up there, you can switch it in by Floatstone, start again. So yeah, the main tactic is to power up your Rayquaza on the bench with Dynamite, constantly Dynamite onto it, do the attack, and then retreat next turn for free with Sky Bridge up, put up any Pokemon, and then power it up again with Dynamite, etc. So that is it for the 2 decks as far as they go. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the run through of the Battle Arena decks. I paid £26.95 for this from Magic Madhouse. I think you probably get them a little bit cheaper. I pre-ordered it. It was delayed coming out as well, but absolutely worth the money, even if you just get them like I did initially for the VS Seekers, the N, the Sycamore, the Ultra Balls, the Lysander, and the Karen. Actually, the Karen is a fantastic card. So I'm really glad I bought these. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Look out for the Battle versus the Rayquaza deck. I will be using the Rayquaza deck. My friend Shay, who you've seen before on the Steam Siege pre-release, will be using the Keldeo deck. He didn't get a choice in it. I'm using the Rayquaza deck because Dragon's my favourite type. But yeah, look out for that one. I really hope you enjoyed this. Of course, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Peace.